Welcome back to Running with Coach Tori.
And Jeff.
And we're bringing you the running news from the week, whether it is to entertain you on your long run or to give you something to talk about with your running group. We've got you covered. We are here, running news after dark. Changes the vibe a little bit, maybe not. I realized as I'm looking through the news you sent, because I thought I was like, oh my gosh, I am on a roll. I have so much extra news. And then I was like, well, okay, all of my news is all of your news.
Oh, really?
Almost all the way.
Okay, then you'll be very current, and I'll be very current with the topics.
Something like that, yeah. I do have a couple things though. Let me see. Actually, you're down in Florida. Are you drinking coffee right now? By the way.
It's my coffee cup, but it's water.
I'm drinking decaf coffee soda. So I was like, oh, are you also drinking coffee like a crazy person right now?
Did you just say decaf coffee soda?
I did.
Is that a thing? I've never heard of that before.
Well, I made it. So.
Sorry, so let me just see what you've mixed. You've mixed decaf coffee together with some type of soda?
Close. I made coffee syrup and then I mixed it with club soda and cream to make coffee soda.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's coffee flavored soda, not decaf coffee and soda combined. Okay, I got it.
Yeah, because that would actually probably be pretty nasty.
That sounded nasty. That's why I was like, wow, you came up with this?
No, but I don't think I made that up though. They do make, I think Coke did something years ago where they made like a coffee soda.
I can't say I remember a coffee soda, and I just don't think if it's not around anymore, it's not around for a reason.
Yeah, well, Okay, fair. How's running down in Florida? Because we have snow again up here and it stinks.
Yeah, and I feel really bad. Well, running's still fine. I was supposed to run today. Today I didn't run because I've been running like 3+ miles each every other day, and I think I've run a little bit too hard on not much of a base, and my heart keeps skipping a beat, which seems to happen when I run in like the red zone for too long of a period of time. So I think I needed another day of rest before I go back out and run. But yeah, it's fine. It's pretty common for me.
Okay.
But I do feel bad from a standpoint of Reagan flew home on Saturday.
Oh man!
And when she got home, we realized there was a big snowstorm coming that, well, I wasn't going to be home for. So I walked her through how to start the snow blower, and she took care of snow blowing the driveway. And
oh no!
Yeah. I mean, I felt pretty bad, and it seemed like so. I mean, you're living it real time. So what is it like up there?
So it's not as bad as the last one we had, which makes sense because they weren't like getting all crazy as much over this one. The nice thing, and I'm not sure if this is good for a snowblower or not, was it was like warm when most of the snow was falling, so it was like pretty wet. So It kind of like goes pretty easy. It's not like turning to ice and like sheets of ice. Like I feel like the last snowstorm, like it was raining down ice. So
yeah. Oh yeah, because so you didn't get as much snow this time as last time. Because I think we got a little bit more than last time. I think we got like 24 inches in that range.
Whoa.
Yeah,
no,
what did you guys get?
9 at the most.
Oh really? Oh okay. Yeah, so we got a lot worse in New Jersey.
Wow. Crazy. Okay, well then maybe it was worse.
Yeah, it was worse for us anyway.
What you need? You're gonna have to walk through. I can't get up. We might have a guest appearance sneaking by, everybody.
Okay.
My adorable husband. Oh, he's trying to hide. Look at this. There he goes.
Are you sure that's your husband? Because it looked like a stranger.
Yeah, there's a robber in my house. Yikes. Anyway, back to
running,
I guess.
Back to running, yes. So I'm running. Are you running?
No. Trying to be. I really am trying to be. I went for a run on Sunday, maybe before all the snow came. Because we had gotten snow like in the morning, but none of it was sticking. So I was like, okay, while it's not super snowy, Josh was home. I was like, let me just go for like a 30-minute run. And it was like a very brief run. Of course, the snow started falling like crazy while I was running. But so I did get to do an outside run, which I haven't done in a long time. But for the next 2 weeks, I got school duty. So there's going to be no free time running. So I'm stuck to the indoor treadmill if I end up getting a run in. So
Okay. Yeah.
nothing exciting happening here.
All right. Yeah. And I'm going to head home probably tomorrow or the next day. So I will be on the treadmill myself. I will not be running in the snow.
Yeah, no, it stinks. I wouldn't recommend it. And I definitely am not committed enough to like shovel out the track like, people who do track workouts do.
Yeah. No.
So I said that you have like all my news basically, but there are a few things that I do have. Some of it is, I think I've forgotten to mention in the past, like week or so, but did you see the 12-year-old that ran a 50K at the Black Canyon Ultra?
No, I didn't see that.
Swiss runner Marta Bontagnali, which I'm sure I didn't say right, finished the Black Canyon 50K in 5 hours, 39 minutes, and 9 seconds, averaging a 6:47 kilometer on the Arizona trail terrain. She was originally supposed to run alongside her father. She found her own pace early and pulled away from him mid-race, never looking back.
Like a true child, never looks back at the parents.
Isn't that how kids are, right?
Yes.
So this is reminding me, and I don't remember if you remember, because I think this was pre-podcast, the last podcast even. But there was like a young boy, I want to say he was like 6, and he ran a marathon with his family, and they like you remember this, right? They documented the whole thing, and people like lost their minds over it.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like a healthy thing to do for anyone under 10 years old in my mind.
When every like expert, weighed in, I feel like no one was like, yeah, it's fine, let kids just do that. Like pretty much anyone between like medical people to like just running coaches and professional runners of the sort, like everyone said, not a good idea physically, not a great idea just in general. And if you want your kid, like it's great that your kid can run that far, but like they don't need to run that far now. And like one thing this article even mentioned was like statistically, which, whatever, that could mean things or not, because a lot of it, I believe, is just like case study or anecdotal, but like kids or whoever who perform really well at a young age, that doesn't necessarily mean they will perform well into like adulthood and, professionally. It usually often actually they're seeing like the opposite. So like, that's just like, why even push that if you don't need to? So yeah, I just thought it was interesting. I'm like, oh my gosh, now we're not even just talking about marathons, but now we're talking about like ultras. Like, why is she even signed up for an ultra ever?
Yeah, no, it's crazy. I mean, I think there's certain sports I would say that I think like ice hockey, like you have to be good at 6 years old to be the greatest NHL player of all time.
Yeah.
Or make the NHL roster. You probably have to be, good, and that's got to be your one sport because it's such a skill-based sport. But something like an endurance, if you not like training when you're 6, really is going to translate to being a better runner when you're 20.
Right.
It's probably more likely that you'll be either burnt out or injured.
For sure.
So, yeah. Anyway, yeah. I'm with you. I did see an article or story about a 17-year-old that ran I don't know if it was the Cocodona 250 or whichever one it was. And I had the same thought cross my mind. I'm like, man, someone like 17 years old, should they be running that far? Where are you? Anyway, it just seemed to me like that seemed like, man, it's such a risk of injury in my mind that you're going to just overdo it at such a young age and you're going to ruin the next 20 years of your running career.
No, totally. Yeah. I mean, 17, I feel like you're getting closer to at least having like your body's much more
mature and it's probably
and stuff. But still, I mean, even like your brain's not, and who knows? I mean, some people, boys especially, I think, grow longer later. So, no, I just don't see the point. But again, I'm not like, that's not really my jam. Is like being like.
No, our jam's talking about what people shouldn't be doing on a podcast.
Right, criticizing other parents and stuff. It's my favorite thing to do. Another person we can criticize, I don't know if you've heard about this guy, Jake Bale, showed up at the Surf City Marathon to do lunges the entire way. How far do you think he made it lunging?
Oh my God. Well, is he a lunge master? Because that's something like I think David Goggins is like a lunge guru. Like, yeah. So I'm going to say, yeah, lunging is so hard on the body. It's got to be. This was a marathon he was doing.
Yeah.
I'm going to say he made less than 10 miles.
So his legs quit at mile 2.
No, 2. Okay.
He really wasn't even trained. Like, right, like 10, you think like, okay, he's been trying to do this, he's been training, practicing, whatever, like he could get to maybe close to 10, whatever. No, quit at mile 2. So you just like woke up one day and you were like, you know what, if I lunge this marathon, people will be interested.
Yeah, that goes into the look at me category. And by the way, I mean, if someone just told me they could lunge for 2 miles, I would give them mad respect. Crazy. That's an incredibly hard feat. But when you set out to do 26 miles and you did 2, I'm going to say you underachieved.
For sure. Yeah. Crazy. So that was another weird one. Oh, and here's my last one. Masella. I don't know this runner, but competed in, what did he even run? I don't know. Botswana runner. He won the 1500 at the Orlin whatever Cup in Poland on Sunday. Did you have any of this coverage?
He's not the one who did the point, the gun.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I saw
that.
Yep.
I should have let you do it so you could have butchered the name instead of me.
I didn't put it on my list, not because of the name, but I just didn't make the list.
This is how bad my news is then.
No. I did see it. At one point, I was going to put it on too. I'm not sure why I didn't, but so I did see it. So yeah, sorry. Finish for everyone else listening. Just finish what happened.
So he won the 1500, national record and the 14th fastest indoor time in history. Moments later, he was disqualified. Why? Because he made an unsportsmanlike gesture towards a rival in the final strides. What is the unsportsman gesture? A gun shape. That's not a point. You said a point. He did this.
Yeah, no, I did see it, and the article I saw did a comparison to Noah Lyles, and Noah Lyles did the same thing, except he used one finger, pointing like a one finger. And someone could say that looks like a gun, the one finger with the thumb up.
You could.
Yeah. Now with the 2 fingers, I will say it looks more gun-like.
Like, because you've never pointed at anything and been like, hey, look at that plant over there, like this.
Yeah, no one ever did that.
This could be like, oh, look, it's
so
me.
When you use 2 fingers and then have the thumb up, I think that does look more like a gun. I still don't know that you should be disqualified for it. Give them a reprimand. Tell them, hey, you can't do that. Don't disqualify him from a run that was an incredible run.
Yeah, I mean, like, I feel like a fine could be a decent penalty for this kind of thing. Yeah, because it didn't affect the race in any kind of way, right? It was like at the end, it was over. I don't love a gun gesture. There's a constant discussion in my home that we're not allowed to pretend that we're using a gun. So yeah, I don't love that, even for adults to be joking about that. So, but yeah, I mean, disqualified seems a little much. Like
it does seem. It seemed a little excessive for a finger gun.
Right. I mean, like he could have done like it was like a little gun, It
was just a little tiny gun,
and like, or he didn't like set off a grenade launch, or he didn't pull the grenade, I mean,
he wasn't doing like a shooting motion. He wasn't going like do.
And he didn't like. I don't know. This is not my thing. Why am I even commenting?
Yeah, so I did see it. So because I saw it, I mean, I had the similar reaction. Was like, wow, that seems excessive.
Yeah, and you know me, I'm usually like Mrs. all about the rules, but today I'm like, it's like.
Yeah, but I'm sure there was no upfront rules like you can't point a gun-like structure with your fingers. Like, okay, that's not a clear rule.
I mean, he saw Cole Hocker being a little sassy at the finish line. He's like, oh, I'll take your napping and up it to putting the other runners to sleep. I don't know.
Yeah. Cole Hocker gets a lot of love, and Noah Lyles gets love for his finger gestures and hand gestures. And this guy gets DQ'd. I'm going to say it's a bias of some sort.
Yeah, I agree. Well, that was all of my news. And then I feel like you have a lot of my news too.
Okay,
So
then you
let's get
saw
into it.
that, we try to keep track of world records. And if you recall, last week we talked about Keely Hodgkinson, who is the
Mhm.
Olympic champion from 2 years ago, and I think third maybe in the last World Championships. She just last week ran the third fastest of all time. And this week she ran the fastest of all time in the 800
Whoa.
meters indoors. And so she set the world record, breaking a 24-year-old record. Um,
Wow.
yeah, and by the way, I think this, maybe I'm getting my people confused, but wasn't she just out for a baby was it like 8 months ago?
Keely?
Yeah. No. Am I wrong on that? No.
You're
Totally
thinking
wrong
of
on that.
Elle St. Pierre.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Cancel that. Anyway, so cancel the baby thing, but still amazing accomplishment.
For sure. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, yeah.
Yeah. This is why you got to keep me honest. I think last week I mentioned that Caleb McRae had set the world record for the indoor 400 meters, and I said there was one other guy that had a faster time, but his wasn't recognized. I did find out why. He ran on the same track 2 years ago in 2024. He did set the world record, but his blocks weren't certified. I don't even know what that means, but
Oh,
because the
weird.
blocks weren't certified, it's not recognized as an official time by
Oh.
the whatever governing agency, the U.S. Track and Field Association. So to me, that seems like a ticky-tack foul of some sort. Like I don't know what like there weren't illegal blocks; they were just
Right.
blocks. So anyway, so that was the clarification for that one for last week. Did you see Keely's run?
No, I saw that you had track news and I was like, oh wow, somehow I've missed that there was any track going on. I missed all the things. I didn't see any stuff about it.
Oh yeah, well, okay. So there's a good video. I mean, she did. It's a short race, 800 meters, so I think it's 4 laps on this indoor track. So she was in the lead. There was a pacer for the first lap. So the week before, when she ran the third fastest time, she was really running on her own. This time, she at least had someone with her for the first 400 meters, and then was pretty much on her own the last lap,
Wow.
last 2 laps. So yeah, so again, dominant. She does appear to be the best in the world. So we'll see how that plays out. World Championships are in a couple of weeks, actually a month. So second story I had, speaking of World Championships, is the U.S. Indoor Championships are this coming weekend. So anyone who's a track fan should find whatever streaming service or YouTube or whatever streaming service you have to find the U.S. Track and Field U.S. Championships. There are 2 finals on Saturday: the 3,000 meters for men and women, and the 60-meter hurdles for men and women. And then all the other running finals are on Sunday. So if you have one day to invest, do it on Sunday. I will try to find a way to watch this. I mean, I'm sure I was able to watch them last year. It's on some streaming service in some way, shape, or form. You can find it.
Yeah, it shouldn't be so hard to find it. Like, why is Peacock not just always showing? They have so many sports, like the Olympics. They have like 1,000 things going on at one time.
Yeah, the U.S. Outdoor was on Peacock last year, and they did, I thought, a good job. I was able to watch it live. I don't know who's got it this time. And I will say that the USTA Track and Field Association, I went to their website. They don't do a great job. Like, the field isn't even locked in. Like, I couldn't find what I wanted to do with you today was say, okay, let's go through each of the 6 or 7 running events, and let's just pick who we think is going to win. I couldn't do that because there's not a lineup set with only 3 or 4 days before the event. So
Oh, wow.
yeah. So I was a little bit annoyed, if you can't tell.
Oh yeah.
All right, let's move on. To the world of ultra marathons, even though we mentioned a couple things already on ultras.
Oh yeah.
Do you know Ashley Paulson? I did look to see if she was related to Tim Paulson, and I
No.
didn't think she was.
So this was going to be one of my other news things, but let's hear what you have to say first before I just sprinkle my negativity all over it.
Okay, Ashley Paulson. She is a 43-year-old ultra runner. She just set the world record in the 100-mile run. She did it in 12 hours and 19 minutes and 34 seconds. That's an average pace of 7:23. Very respectable. 7:23. I certainly can do that for 1 mile. I cannot do that for 100 miles.
Yeah.
That's incredible. I just, anyone who can run 100 miles consecutively, I don't care what the pace is, total respect. And she is the world record holder. This was done in the Jackpot 100 in Henderson, Nevada this past week. Now, what's your negativity? Oh, go ahead. I think I know where you're going with this. Go ahead.
Do you have anything else to say first?
Nope. I'm leaving my comments clean unless I want a moment to respond to your comments if they're negative.
So what I should have done if I was a good podcaster, which I say this every time, did not get my facts. I did not bring all my info. This is just coming from my, foggy memory here. Ashley is a known cheater.
Oh, you had to go there.
It just, I can't get past cheating. I can't get past cheating ever. You do it once, the doubt is it just sinks in forever. If you're willing to do it once and you get away with it, kind of. So this is my memory.
Oh, I've got the facts. So go right ahead. I want to hear what your memory is. Oh yeah, I know what she did.
Oh, well, can you just give us the facts before I butcher it? And everyone's mad at me for just like making up shit about Ashley Paulson.
Well, anyway, the article I did read, for some reason, I didn't read this entire article, and the last line out of nowhere was, Ashley served a 6-month doping sanction in 2015 and 16 due to doping violations in triathlon for a positive test of ostarine, a selective androgen receptor modulator, SARM, from a contaminated supplement.
Mm-hmm.
Again, maybe that's just their explanation was from a contaminated supplement. Maybe it was intentional. We don't know.
Correct. So then she quickly pivoted to marathoning and ultra running from there. There was, I don't remember if it was a half marathon or what it was, but at some point after that, there was a situation where she was winning or whatever, this half marathon, and cuts this corner. It doesn't quite add up. It was like a whole thing. So she's done that. And then a couple years back, I don't even remember which ultra marathon. It's one of the ones we always talk about. I don't remember which one, whether it was Badwater or whatever it was. But she had won, she'd set a new course record or whatever it was, right? She crushed everyone in the field by hours, as she's done here again. And then there started being disputes about her GPS. There was like 2 hours or whatever it was unaccounted for. She's saying I must have taken my watch off when I was in the van, taking a rest, blah, blah, blah. Like it all started to seem really shady. And here's the unfortunate part. Camille Herron was one of the people like really trying to get in there with like the honesty train and was doing all this analysis of like how it doesn't make sense and all these things. And it's like, unfortunately, at this time, her name was not tainted with all of the things that she's done or not done or whatever. So it's just like, oh my gosh. So yeah, so she's had like multiple, we were talking about it at home a lot because I was just like, listen to this weird story of like this woman who probably cheated. It sounds like it's almost 100%. They could not figure out what happened with the GPS. She couldn't explain what happened with the GPS. People were saying they saw this van. They didn't see her at some points on the course. And then, she's got this history of cheating. So, it's just weird. It's just all weird circumstances. And then it's kind of like, okay, she keeps running though and winning. Like, it just is strange. So I just always, every time I see like a headline with her, like doing another amazing race, I'm like, it just feels a little weird though. I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's an incredible memory of somebody that if you'd asked me who she was, I didn't know who she was. So I don't know how you came across her and knew and remembered all of this just from me bringing up her name today. That's insane. But at least in this one, so I'll just stick with this one here. This one was a 1.1 mile course. So at least on this one, I would imagine there's no way to cheat. People see you. There's people on this, it's a loop. So there's going to be people on it all the time. So this one here, it doesn't appear that there was any cheating ongoing.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm gonna be the softy on this one and say that I'm just gonna give her mad respect. I did see that part of the article. It was 10 years ago, and I didn't feel like I needed to sort of throw the asterisk next to her name. And just for everyone else's benefit, I know you said Camille Herron's her issues, and her issues were around updating Wikipedia, like and changing facts in Wikipedia versus cheating. It was really more of just a dumb move than an illegal cheating move.
Right. And it was apparently her husband / coach.
Yeah. Well, again, is it the burrito or was I taking testosterone?
Right.
Is it my husband updating Wikipedia or did I do it and blamed my husband?
Yeah.
We don't know which. So anyway.
Bad news either way.
All right. Well, that's our ultra running update world record that seems to have an asterisk next to that one. Do you know who Ethan Shuley is?
Nope.
Okay, no one does but he is the 7th fastest marathoner in U.S. history, and
That's crazy.
just did that this past weekend at the Osaka Marathon. He ran a 2:07 out of nowhere. We're not going to say he's on drugs. We're not going to do that. We're not going to taint any way, shape, or form him unless you know something of his past. I did see I don't know if it was on Let'sRun.com. They had sort of a message board, and people were like, "Who is this guy?" And then I did see someone of these posts that said, like, "Well, if you really were into running in high school, this guy was really good in high school." Blah blah blah. So he's not totally out of nowhere. He's not like he was a street vendor that just sort of like suddenly ran the 7th fastest time in history. He is a runner and was very good at one point in time.
For as much as I like to throw the doping allegations out there, I wait till there's smoke, okay? I'm not just pulling smoke out of my ass because he's new. I wait till I see it, and then I'm like, yes.
There it is! Cheater!
I'm going to tell everybody.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
What's blowing me away is 7th fastest U.S. marathoner, and he finished 14th.
Yeah, I put that in there for a reason. I was going to mention it, and then I said, I'm going to stay positive. But you picked up on it. You picked up on it, the fact that somehow our 7th fastest U.S. time in history, the 7th fastest marathoner in history in the U.S., finished 14th at the Osaka Marathon. That to me is like, it says a lot about where the U.S. stands in the world as far as marathons go.
Yeah, that stinks.
Yeah, it stinks. It does. It says a lot. Yeah. Enough said. Do you know who Truett Haynes is?
Yes, because we talked about him when we talked about his goals of running at the Olympic trials.
Okay.
Right?
Again, your memory's much better than mine. I did see this story about this dude running in jeans. So he ran, so for anyone else's benefit, he just ran 2:36 marathon in jeans this past week in the Austin Marathon. And these aren't like cut-off jeans. I've seen a bunch of people wearing like jorts. But no, he's wearing full-length jeans. He also wears no shirt, so it is clearly he's a fit dude.
It's a stunt,
Look at me wearing my jeans with my no shirt on, running a marathon. And by the way, a very respectable time of 2:36.
But I will say this is not boding well for his Olympic trials dreams because he's not seemingly dropping time on any of these marathons.
Yeah, I do remember we had a discussion about some dude who was going to, improve his time. I didn't link it together that this was the same dude.
This is the guy.
Yeah. So I think the novelty of running in jeans. I mean, if he runs it in the Olympic trials in jeans, I'll give him respect. I don't know that he's going to qualify. I'm sure the standard to run the U.S. trials is much higher than 2:36. It's much faster than 2:36.
Yeah. I think he has to drop like at least 15 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, if the seventh fastest time in history is 2:07, just for reference, I mean, I got to believe our trials time is got to be, I don't know, 2:15, 2:20.
I think it's something around there. Yeah, like
Yeah,
in the
I
middle
mean,
of
you can
that.
look it up, but we don't deal with facts here. We're dealing with just our opinions. Yeah.
Oh, of course we don't have facts here. That's crazy.
You want facts, you go to another website or another podcast.
Yeah.
We're about news and we're about our opinion on the news. All right. How about, do you know AJ Swan?
Only because I had that as one of my news things.
Yeah, AJ Swan, for anyone's benefit, he was running the Florida half marathon. He's a 74-year-old man. He was less than a mile into the race and he got hit by a car and killed. So this goes under our sort of a tragic news front. There's no jokes, there's no funniness about this one. This was just a tragic accident. I read the article. I was hoping for more clarity as to like what happened. Only thing I've said was like the officials and the police were, somehow a driver got onto a closed portion of the course. There were cones. There was traffic one way, but cones on the other for the runners. But somehow a driver, hit a runner in an intersection. So I can only paint different scenarios in my head because the police are investigating, and there's not a great ending to a story. This is like a 2020, episode where they're doing a murder and they don't have a conclusion. That's what we have here. We don't know if this was a drunk individual. We don't know if it was a kid who just thought he could just drive this way and didn't realize that this was a closed course for running. We don't know. It's unclear.
Yeah, and see, I don't know much about this marathon at all. It's also just surprising to me that it was in the beginning of the race because like that's the part where you besides like the finish line, but like at the beginning is where people are still bunched up. You see so many runners, you still see people you would think you'd still see like the porta potty. Like there's just so much happening at the start of a race that like it's even more surprising that like a car would even end up there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, and if you agree. I mean, you and I run a bunch of races, and the first mile, you're lucky, and maybe this is a small marathon. I mean, it was the Melbourne, it was Florida half marathon in Melbourne.
Yeah.
I mean, I gotta believe it's pretty popular. I mean, I didn't see how many runners there were, but again, the first mile, it's a pretty crowded race. It'd be shocking that a car wouldn't kill 10 people if it hit somebody in the first mile of a race.
Well, that's what I was thinking, right? Like yeah, you'd be shocked that there's a way that one person would be the only
Person on the road at that
person
point
on
in
the road.
time.
Injury occurred. I mean, maybe there were other injuries that aren't in the article because no one else. It wasn't a fatality, but yeah, it's just very surprising and yeah, like crazy. You know what I mean? Like how is that happening?
No, I agree.
Races who don't do like they don't have the bathrooms provided right, or they don't have like all other weird things that people are canceling races for. Like this is just like yeah, I would like to know who's at fault here. Not like I love to play the blame game, but it's just like what are we missing? What did they not learn from this? I don't understand. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I saw all kinds of cover your ass statements in the article. It was around like, the city said the plan was approved by this commission, and we had hired this individual to review the plan. There was a police at the intersection. There were cones. It was well marked. Everyone's trying to say it's not my fault that this guy got hit by a car.
Of course.
Yeah, the person whose fault it is the person driving the car, and then the question is, oh yeah, what mistakes were made? Let's see. There'll be plenty of time to blame after the police do their investigation. We'll see. It's one of these ones I'll try to keep on my radar screen, but these things move sometimes so slow. You just don't. They don't put statements out, every week. It just moves at the snail's pace, and then you never hear about it.
Yeah. No, very sad, and so sorry for him and his family. And I mean, depending on what was going on with the driver too, like so sorry for whatever was going on with them because like this is something that you know what I mean. Like obviously, like they're still at fault, but like living with that too, it has to be terrible.
Yeah, I guess I'll feel some mass sympathy for the family of AJ Swan. At the moment, I'm going to hold any sympathy for the driver
Fair.
in reserve. until I hear what the facts were and how you actually hit a runner. Because, it's like, okay, even if there wasn't, you were on, how do you just hit a person?
Yeah, and like hard, I would imagine.
Yeah. Like, unless the light's green and you're relying, and everyone's relying on the fact that the intersection, no one should be coming this way. And therefore, like, how did you get onto this course? I don't know. That's the only thing I can think of is the light was green, but everyone's ignoring the lights because the course is closed, and therefore there should be no cars. So everyone's just running through the intersection. But maybe the person doesn't see any runners because it's not bunched up. Who knows? Again, there's a whole lot of speculation, but it's a shame.
For sure.
All right, we're getting into 2026 major marathon season.
Woohoo!
Yeah, woohoo! I think early March is Tokyo. Then you get Boston and London sort of back to back in like April time frame, and then you get Berlin later after that. So anyway, we're kicking it off now. So there was a ranking of the 7 majors and easiest to hardest, and if you could see the list there. My only disagreement, here's the list, by the way, for anyone's benefit, is easiest in their mind was Berlin, Chicago next, Tokyo, London. All of those are pretty flat courses if you look at the topography. And then the 3 hardest ones, New York City, Boston, and then finally Sydney is the hardest. And those 3 being 5, 6, and 7, New York, Boston, and Sydney. If you looked at the elevation, the elevation is crazy on them. There's a lot of up and down on those, where Berlin and Chicago are almost like perfectly flat. There's some small hills, but very, very small. So, I mean, I think Chicago, which has the world record held by a woman in the Chicago Marathon and a man in the Chicago Marathon, to me, that feels like it's
probably number 1.
Maybe it's the easiest. Now, I think they rated Berlin a little easier only because of weather. I think Chicago because of the wind. There are some years that it's not as forgiving as other years. So I think otherwise they're very similar races.
Yeah, no, for sure. I've run none of these, so I have like no personal opinions at all. I feel like from everything I've heard, the ranking system kind of tracks here. I've had people who I coach run in a couple of these, and also from their retelling, that kind of makes sense. Are any of these on your bucket list? When you ran your marathon, did you do the New York City Marathon?
I did do that. That was my first marathon.
That was your first one. Okay. I couldn't remember.
I should have picked an easier one because I did not have a great experience.
Yeah.
Even though I thought relatively fit, but I really wasn't anywhere near as fit as I should have been or could have been.
So was it a lottery back then too?
It was a lottery, yeah, because me and my friend were both trying to get in. I got in. He was a better runner than me. He didn't get in. It was actually Jerry Paulson.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. I was training with him. And by the way, for anyone who's a benefit, he's the father of Tim Paulson, who's a CrossFitter. And so that's why Tori knows his name as well.
And now he lives near my friend. He's my friend's neighbor.
Yes. But anyway, yeah. So I thought the list was interesting. It's from Let's Run. It's from the Running Channel, the article. They do give a lot of reasons for each. And I think if you are looking to run one of the majors, and you do have the money to go to one of these other locations, you would pick Berlin or Chicago way before you would pick Sydney or Boston.
So now if you had to run one of these, what are you picking?
If I had to pick one, I would say, just for the interesting aspects of it, Tokyo. I'd pick one of the first 4: Berlin, Chicago, Tokyo, or London. All of them are probably interesting, but just because they're outside the U.S., 3 of them, Tokyo is probably the most, the craziest of them in my mind. Even though when you look at the finishing, there's no Americans that are finishing in the top 10.
Yeah,
it's dominated by Japanese runners.
Wow. I would not pick Tokyo. I would probably pick Chicago just because of proximity.
Yeah, you and I are different pots. You're worried about taking care of your son and getting back in time, where I'm not worried about those things.
Wow. Crazy. All right.
Yeah, it was a good list. Good article. That's all I got on news front. Do you have anything else on your end?
No, no more on news. I mean, we're like at time, so it's pretty solid. Hopefully, next week we will be back at the same time. So I feel like this is actually better time for people to tune in live. So I'm guessing you're not here live right now, but next week, Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern time, get on our YouTube, American Run Club YouTube, and you can join us live.
So we're
Right?
doing Tuesday, 8 p.m. next week?
If that works for you.
That works for me.
I'm like on classroom duty for the next whenever.
All right,
His
perfect.
teacher's trapped in Florida right now. She might be near
Who's that?
you. James's teacher.
I
So I was working in I did the classroom today.
won't look her up. So.
Yeah, teacher's trapped in Florida, enjoying the weather. What are you gonna do? All right, yeah.